Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Iran has warned it could strike energy and water infrastructure in Gulf countries if the United States follows through on threats to target Iran's electricity grid. The warning comes after President Donald Trump reportedly issued a 48-hour ultimatum, further escalating the conflict. Analysts say any retaliation targeting civilian infrastructure could severely impact global markets and threaten essential services for millions across the region. Oil prices have stabilized as investors weigh escalating US and Iranian threats to energy facilities against the potential return of Iranian oil supplies to global markets. Brent crude edged slightly lower to around $112 a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate also saw a minor dip after recent gains. Markets are balancing fears of further conflict with expectations that lifted sanctions could release millions of barrels of Iranian oil into circulation. French President Emmanuel Macron has reaffirmed France's support for Saudi Arabia and condemned recent Iranian attacks on the kingdom. During a phone call with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Macron expressed solidarity and backed Saudi measures to safeguard its sovereignty and security. The statement comes amid rising tensions across the region following ongoing military escalations. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas has held talks with Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. EU officials say Kallas also spoke with counterparts in Turkey, Qatar, and South Korea to address the conflict, attacks on energy infrastructure, and the urgent need to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The calls are part of ongoing diplomatic efforts, with warnings that threats to critical infrastructure could impact millions across the region and beyond. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is set to chair an emergency meeting on the economic impact of the Iran war. Finance Minister Rachel Reeves and Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey are expected to attend as concerns grow over market instability. Investors are bracing for turbulence after Iran warned it could target energy and water infrastructure in Gulf countries if US strikes escalate further. Cuba says it is prepared for any potential US attack as tensions rise amid an ongoing oil blockade. Deputy Foreign Minister Carlos Fernandez de Cosio said Havana is ready for all scenarios, responding to recent remarks by US President Donald Trump. The comments come as both countries remain in talks, even as the blockade pushes Cuba deeper into an economic crisis. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Washington currently has enough money to fund the ongoing war against Iran, but is still asking Congress for additional funds to support future military needs. Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Bessent stressed that the request for supplemental funding is about ensuring the military remains well equipped going forward, not because the US is running out of money now. He also made it clear that the administration is not considering any tax increases to finance the war. Iran's representative to the UN Maritime Agency has said that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to all shipping except vessels linked to Iran's enemies, after US President Donald Trump threatened to target Iranian power plants if the waterway was no fully open within 48 hours. Ali Musavi said Tehran was ready to cooperate with the International Maritime Organization to improve maritime safety and protect seafarers in the Gulf, adding that ships not linked to Iran's enemies could pass the strait by coordinating security and safety arrangements with Tehran. US President Donald Trump has threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants if Tehran does not fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. Trump said on social media that if Iran doesn't fully open, without threat, the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, the US would hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. Furthermore, Masoud Pezeshkian said that reckless statements and threats against Iran would be met with a decisive response, warning that external pressure would only strengthen national unity. The Iranian leader criticized the United States for issuing threats, calling them a sign of frustration, and emphasized that such rhetoric would not weaken Iran. Pezeshkian also stated that the Strait of Hormuz would remain open to friendly nations, but could be closed to any country that launches an attack on Iran, underscoring the strategic importance of the route for global energy supplies. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.